This is Town Square Sunday on demand. And now, 1420 WBSM's Jim Phillips.
Public art is flourishing in New Bedford. You see a lot of it in coming months, thanks to Massachusetts Design Art Technology, known as DATMA. We've come to know it as DATMA. They're celebrating their 5th anniversary in New Bedford with a range of public art projects and education programs once again. Here to talk about its 2023 program, the Executive Director, Lindsay Mis. Lindsay, good to speak with you again.
Hi, thanks for having us back, Jim.
So, here we are, another year and another program. This is really for the second year in a row, you've adopted the shelter theme, I guess is the best way to put it. So give us a refresher on the shelter concept and how it partners with the 2023 program you have.
Thank you. Well, it's really nice to be here. And every year we have a theme that really ties in ways that we can work with our partners, a way that we can tell the story of the South Coast and New Bedford. And the past 2 years we've been focused on the theme of shelter in particular. It's the first time that we're 5, but this is the first time that we've had a 2-year theme, but it was just too big to unpack. You know, in 2020, we were determining our theme for 2022 and 2023. And at the time, we were all experiencing the Black Lives Matter movement. We were having a lot of light shed on the housing crisis. And, really from there, we started to ask ourselves questions about, what is a home? How does a community shape where you live? And New Bedford has an incredible history of being open to all people. And, we have this, we were instrumental in the abolition movement and being a shelter to all. So this theme started conversations and things took off. Talking about homelessness, how the growing Central American community, how our artists have created excellence in arts in the South Coast, but also some of the tried and true things too, like our fishing industry. And all of these things just really encapsulate what it is that draws a lot of us to stay and be a resident in this area.
So you have 3 out-of-town artists coming in to share their talents in New Bedford. Mark Riegeman from New York City, I may not be pronouncing that name correctly, Maxwell MKs from Chicago, and Sylvia Lopez Chavez from Boston. In general, what are they bringing to the city?
I think that their sense of how they work with public art, how they create their art, it can't be done without this community aspect. And public art is changing, and it's hard for organizations like mine who produce art. We find artists to create art, and that's what DATMA does in a nutshell. But what those 3 artists do in their practice is work with residents, school groups, just the people that live and experience the places where their art will be installed, and make sure that they're involved in the creation process, commenting, being part of it, being hands-on if they want. And it's really hard to find artists that make work in this way. It's 2 parts. It's being an artist, but also being a good listener, translating thoughts and voices, and kind of putting it all in one big pot and cooking something really fabulous. And then people like me put it on a building or next to a sidewalk or in a park. So that's first and foremost what they bring, and they're very special people.
So have all of them completed their artwork? I know you got one project done. That's at the Norpel building right on Route 6 near the New Bedford Fairhaven Bridge. It's a mural, and it looks beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. We're really proud of that. That piece is our first semi-permanent piece of artwork, so we're going to try to do more of that. A lot of our work is temporary. There's a lot of reasons for that, but this that site, the Norpel building, allowed for us to create a piece that could withstand many seasons. Yeah, I'm sleeping great this week because we launched everything, and last Thursday was the deadline for everybody, and they finished. And now all we have to do is wrap up things like take some beauty shots of the artwork and just try to keep on sharing with the rest of the world what's happening in New Bedford. And yeah, but yes, I'm sleeping a lot better now that everybody is done with their work.
So there's been a lot of work done in the past and this year too, but clearly there are things to come as well. And one of those is the open studios on the sidewalk. So what's that all about?
Yeah, this was a special exhibition. This is our first year that we've, knocked 4 exhibitions out of the park. And normally we did 1 or 2 exhibitions or 3, but because it's our 5th year, what we wanted to do was demonstrate including the community and in the exhibitions themselves. We've had a lot of hands-on work with MKs, Chavez, and Riegelman. But there's a lot of artists here in the region that we wanted to shine. So after we finished our first call for qualifications, which led us to working with a Chicago artist, Maxwell MKs, we experimented with doing another RFP, like a call for proposals, where we just wanted to exhibit artists from the South Coast. There's a lot of people who are making work inside their studios, and especially the past couple of years, we haven't really been able to go into the studios and see it, go into museums, go into galleries. So it was important for us to take that artwork and put it out on the sidewalks. And what was really special about this is that many of the artists that we're working with have never created public art before. They don't consider their medium to be a public art medium. Maybe they're a photographer or a painter, and those are things that are typically seen behind glass on a wall. And we wanted to take it and bring it out and put it on the sidewalks or next to. We have this great exhibition along the waterfront, which is a main attraction for the city. And that way, the first thing that somebody sees if you're not from this area is, what is the South Coast about? Who are the people making artwork in the South Coast? And so we have 11 featured artists, and ranging from Wareham to Fall River, up to Brockton. And we were really lucky with the submissions because, again, it just adds to that excellence that we have in this area for the quality of art.
Where is this located?
If you go down to the waterfront, Pier 3, that's the MacArthur Ave. And when you're taking a stroll and looking at the wonderful ground fishing boats or scallop boats, then you'll pretty much walk right into the exhibition. It's at the bottom of Route 18 and Union, and right in that very busy part of the historic downtown New Bedford.
All right. You're listening to Town Square Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips. My guest is Lindsay Mis, who's the Executive Director of Massachusetts Design Art Technology, which is also known as DATMA. Okay, so you've got some major pieces of art. You've got some smaller programs. You've also got programs that involve kids from the public school system. Now, I know the Norpel project involved youngsters from New Bedford High School. And will there be any other types of these programs?
Let's see. Each of our projects had community involvement work. With Maxwell MKs, he worked with so many different schools. Our sister school, other New Bedford programs like PACE, and then we had a few groups like Third Eye Unlimited, where we've already held these public events where people brought materials, pieces of textiles that were then used in the creation of the artwork. So when you go and you walk through Maxwell MK's piece, which is inspired by a baobab tree or a Witu structure, the interior is all textiles from people from the community, and it really is a demonstration of the fabric of a community. There's that saying, but the interior of structure truly is. And so that program was already completed. And what we have going on next, where it's family friendly and youth focused, is we've got some really fantastic lineup events for different AHA nights. We have in 2 weeks we have a July AHA, which is Kids Rule, and we'll be making mini art sculptures with anybody who wants to come up to our location in Custom House Square, and you'll see the big DATMA banners. And some art tours. We have a special event with the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra who will be playing in Custom House Square in September. We're also getting to work with some of the historic homes and taking taking advantage of some of the tours of the area that take you inside some of the historic homes. So this theme has really been able to help us partner with people who we haven't been able to partner with in the past. So lots of free family things coming up.
From birds to climate change to a concert at Custom House Square by the New Bedford Symphony. So it's a big calendar. Where can people learn more, get more specifics?
Oh, thank you. If you're looking for something to do this summer, like take your own art tour or join the symphony experience there, you can go to DATMA.org. We have an events page, so DATMA.org/events is where you can find out about some of the events that we have coming up. And everything that we do is always free. It's really important for us to make sure that there are never any barriers for people who want to go and experience arts and culture. And
all these events are free and open to the public.
That's correct. Yes. We want to make sure that, we don't have barriers like ticket prices, and we try to make it so events are happening after people get out of work, but then are maybe before bedtime, things like that.
You can find information, as Lindsay mentioned, at DATMA.org, DATMA.org. Lindsay, why is it important for young people in New Bedford to experience public art, in your opinion, and get involved in some of these projects?
Yeah, a lot of the artists that we're working with use materials that aren't necessarily considered art materials. They're not necessarily using a common like paintbrush or a canvas. And I think that inspires youth to consider the approach of materials, consider what art is in a different way. Art is the first thing cut in schools, and it breaks my heart. And it's passion for my board to make sure that what we present to the public really resonates with them, but also there's lots of ways to have connection points. We want people to just kind of stop and maybe just take a moment, and hopefully those moments that they have with the artwork perhaps could result in creative problem solving in even non-art related moments of their lives. So just get people to just think differently. That is the number one goal, I think, with presenting projects like Mark Riegelman's 17-foot door in Custom House Square, or an abstract We2 sculpture that has neon lights on it and it looks like a crazy like spaceship pineapple. I mean, it gets people to talk and ask questions, and either you hate it or you love it, but have a reaction and think about it.
That is public art. That's what it's all about, really. You hate it or love it. But if you don't like one piece, move on to the next.
Thank you.
You might be surprised. Lindsay Mis has been my guest. She's the executive director of Massachusetts Design Art Technology. I did want to ask you one more question, Lindsay, and we have about a minute. When does your time in New Bedford end? Are you going to continue beyond 5 years?
I think we want to grow. We have eyes on different options for a building, and we want to be able to continue to expand those youth programs while continuing the public art. That will always be the first and foremost thing that we do. But my office is starting to look like a storage unit. We've got to get a building. So I hope we grow. I hope we make more art, and that a lot of it sticks around for a longer time, like the Norpel Wall. But thank you for asking. We hope to be around for a while.
Well, we hope you'll be around for a while too, because public art is, a great thing in New Bedford. Lindsay Mis, my guest, director of the DATMA group, the Massachusetts Design Art Technology. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And we'll talk with you again, I'm sure, somewhere down the line. Town Square Sunday will continue in just a moment.